1.
Hey everyone, and welcome to our overview of past modals. We're going to start with those in the past that express possibility. So let's get started. The first thing I want to show you is this overview chart. So you can see this should look very familiar, just like what you saw in the present and the future modals. You'll notice, please pay careful attention again to the fact that my line is flipped, with the more certain at the top and the less certain at the bottom. So moving down from can't have, couldn't have, must have to have, may have, might have, and so on. One form note, right after all of these haves, what verb do I need? Hopefully you remembered that it's verb 3, the past participle. That's part of showing that these are in the past. You can come back to this if you need it for a review, but let's get started with some examples. So first we're going to take a look at those involved with guessing. What past modals can I use? Well, here's a photo for you. Think about this question. What might she have done to get unstuck? So you notice even the question has that past for us. So what do you think? What might she have done to get unstuck? Well, maybe we could say she could have pulled really hard. Don't know if that would have worked or not, maybe. Or she might have called a friend. Hopefully she had her cell phone in her pocket. Or she may have gotten firefighters to cut her out. All of these are just possibilities, 50-50. We're taking a guess at something that could have or might have or may have worked. Again, grammar sense is going to say that may have has a little bit more certain of a meaning in some instances, but overall, all three of these are pretty much the same, 50-50. Okay, let's take a look at the final thought here. Guessing, then we're going to use might have, may have, could have, plus our past participle. The next one we'll take a look at is strong certainty. So take a look at this photo for a second there and think about this question. What happened here? Well, I could say something like, someone must have edited this photo. Or someone had to have changed the original. Or someone has to have changed it. You notice in those final two examples, we can use had in the past or has in the present. However, even when I use has, it's still in the past because you notice has to is followed by have plus our past participle. So both of them have that past meaning. When we have a strong certainty. In a more informal way, I could also use has got to have. Someone has got to have lost their mind to make this photo, right? So for making a conclusion, a logical conclusion, 95% there, sure. Must have to have got to have, plus our verb 3 past participle. Okay, the next one is also a kind of strong certainty, but let's take a look at this photo and get some examples. So I could say, hey, look at what my cats did yesterday. You might say, well, that can't have been easy. Or they couldn't have done that if they had been kittens. You notice here we have the can't have and couldn't have in the negative, something we think is pretty impossible, right? That 99% sure that it's unlikely. I could also, just to reference back to our previous slide, say something like they must have had a lot of energy. Logical conclusion for this one. So something that's unlikely or impossible, we're going to be using that can't have or couldn't have. Well, that's it. That's the end of our review. Feel free to go back through and take a look if you need to. I hope that you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all really soon.